Hi everybody, good Sunday morning. I'm filming this on a Saturday, so it's ready for you on Sunday morning. I was at a friend's for lunch the other day, and he said, "Do you want me to make you some coffee?" "Oh wait, you don't like the way I make coffee." And I said, "It's not that I don't like the way you make coffee, it's that I don't like the coffee you make." Here's the reality, people. Most of you drink garbage coffee. I know some of you don't. You drink some nice specialty coffee, or you just get used to the taste of Starbucks and you think that's great. But I'm here to tell you that coffee is the most incredible and beautiful thing, and I'm gonna bet money that most of you have rarely drank good coffee. Or I mean, you've had good coffee, you have not drank great coffee, and I'm here to help you fix that, and you can have great coffee every day. So how do we start this? First of all, why is the coffee you're drinking garbage? Well, if you're drinking French roast or Italian roast, that's garbage. Okay, why is it garbage? Because they've taken the beans and they have burnt them to a fairly well. You know when you go into a delicatessen, maybe it's like a nice Italian deli, ooh, and they have those like big jars of beans and they're all glossy and you're like, ooh, look, that must be good coffee. That is garbage coffee. See all the like oil on the outside of the beans? You know what that is? That's all the flavor. That's like the blood, so to speak, that was inside the coffee bean. They've burnt it so bad that it's all now come out. Oh, and by the way, while it's sitting there in that jar for who the hell knows how long, that oil is going rancid. So do not buy that coffee, okay? If you want to taste what coffee really tastes like, you want to buy something that's a medium roast. That means the coffee bean, the roasted bean itself. Okay, and let's just go back. You're going to buy whole beans. You don't have to. You don't want to buy a coffee grinder. That's fine, but I'm going to show you how to do it super cheap. But, you know, if you are going to buy pre-ground coffee, try to get it ground like pretty soon before you buy it. Don't try to go and buy it in the store already ground. I mean, I got some opinions about that, but let's just say you want to drink a little better coffee than you're drinking. You want a medium roast coffee. Well, how do you know that it's a medium roast coffee? Well, if you go to like a small coffee roaster, you can talk about them to them. You could say, do you do a light roast? Do you do a medium roast? Do you do a dark roast? Or if you can see the coffee bean, whether it's in a jar or in a bag, maybe, you can see that it's not burnt and it's not super dark. I am the wife of a coffee roaster, as some of you know. I have spent 20 years around coffee. I've traveled to coffee producing countries, which, by the way, coffee only grows in an equatorial belt around the globe. That's why we can't grow coffee in New York. You can get some coffee in Hawaii. It's way overpriced and overrated. It's not really that good. But the best coffee grows in Brazil and different African countries. You want to get an Arabica bean. Robusta beans are harsh. They're not great. That's probably what you're drinking, like in chock full of nuts, or if you buy some already ground instant coffee. Look, we all drink it in a pinch, and that's fine, but you want to get a nice Arabica coffee. Coffee grows on bushes and little trees. It grows in this cherry. It actually looks like a little fat cranberry. And then there are two beans in each one. They have to take it out and pulp it. There's a million ways to go about the processing, natural in the cherry, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to get into that. But if you start getting interested in coffee, it's just like getting interested in anything else, perfume or ice creams or literature. You find that there's these worlds that you can just dive into, and coffees taste different from different regions of the world. They also smell really different. I know you probably sometimes maybe see a bag of coffee and it'll say, vanilla, cinnamon, and, I don't know, roasted meat. And you're like, is this just some arty farty crap? Well, actually it's not. I used to do sort of smelling with my husband. I wasn't very good at tasting different flavor notes, but I had a really good nose for it. The first time he's like, here, smell this. And it was an Ethiopian harar. It smelled, this is just the roasted coffee. It might have actually been ground. No, but it doesn't have to be. It smelled exactly like blueberry Pop-Tarts. Exactly. And if you roast it properly, if you roast the beans from wherever you're getting them from Chiapas, you're getting them from Ethiopia, you're getting them from some part of Brazil. If you roast them to the proper peak of what their flavor can be, it's incredible what's inside these things. And I recommend the next time you buy some good coffee, grind it And, or even before you grind it, just put your nose in the bag and smell it and like close your eyes. I always kind of think like it's like you're running down a dark hallway and these flavors are like shooting out from doors and you try to like get them before. It's pretty fun. And you also can, of course, sometimes taste these if it's roasted properly. Okay, I'm going to give you an analogy that most of us can relate to. How about I go and buy an amazing steak, baby, a bone-in ribeye. This is going to be so delicious. Well, if I burn that steak, I mean, I completely burn it. Are you getting any flavor from it at all? No, but it's still steak. Well, that's what most people are drinking. That's what you're drinking when you get, I think it's Pike's Peak or Pike's Market from Starbucks. Also, Starbucks coffee for the most part is garbage. Why is it garbage? Well, they're roasting it by the tons, and you have to have a consistent flavor profile. Okay, well, we'll burn it. And then everybody gets used to that taste, and everybody thinks coffee should be like, should make your tongue get all dried out and give you super bad breath. That's not what coffee's supposed to be. But we get used to that. When my husband opened the first cafe, people were really, they were drinking Pete's French roast, I think is what it was. And they would come in and be like, I like that super burnt. And I was like, okay, let me just try something with you. Why don't you try this Sumatra? So Sumatra makes coffee that I used to say it was like the muddy boot because it really had this like super earthy taste, but it's not all the way over the brink. It's like kind of on the brink and interesting. Anyway, when you're buying coffee, try to get a medium roast. You can go, maybe you have a small coffee roaster. If not, you can just try some, most supermarkets this day will have some coffee from smaller roasters, and you can try that. Okay, so how are you going to make your coffee? Well, most people, we're talking about how most people, it's Sunday morning, you're going to make your coffee. Most people are going to make drip coffee. I mean, you might have a little like espresso pot, or you might like to do a pour over. My daughter likes the ritual of like getting up and slowly doing the pour over. That's fine. Most people make drip coffee. So what are you going to do? Let's assume that you're going to like say, you know what, I'm going to shell out for a coffee grinder. Now, you can go and get all fancy and get a burr grinder and this and that and spend hundreds of dollars, but that's sort of like buying like, I don't know, the best set of skis when you're a novice skier. Don't do it. You don't need to do it. You should buy a coffee grinder that doesn't drive you insane. I bought one when I first came to New York, and it was like hard to get the top off and empty it and clean it. Ugh. I went onto Amazon. I bought a Cuisinart coffee maker, $20. Okay, it's easy. It's clean. You open it. You put the beans in. Now, is it going to be like, will real coffee people say, well, how do you know it's the exact grind for like the kind of coffee you're making? Well, you don't. You're going to eyeball it. You're going to grind it for, oh, it smells good. You're going to grind it for like, if you're doing drip, which is a little more, larger. If you're going to do espresso, you got a little espresso maker, you'll grind it finer. Look, it's a super easy purchase. It's $20. It's not ugly. Doesn't take up any space on your counter. Now, I'm going to go against what I just said in terms of actually paying for something to make coffee in. Since most of us use a drip machine, you're going to buy a drip machine. Please, Mother of God, do not go buy Mr. Coffee, and do not buy these machines. It's all plastic. You got to do this. Where do I put the water? Wait, it's weird to get the water, and I can't this. I'm going to show you the machine you're going to buy. You're going to spend a tiny bit of money on it, but you know what? It's the only coffee maker you're going to ever buy. It's going to make you great coffee, and it's not going to drive you berserk. It's a Mocha Master. Well, it says Boyd's because Boyd's Coffee used to sell them, but you can see right there, Mocha Master Techniform. This machine, I actually took this from my house in Portland. This machine retails, I think it is the Mocha Master KB for $319 on Amazon, or you can go to Mocha Master's site. They also have a super cute one, the KBGV for $349. It's kind of rose gold, and it's a little higher end than that. This is so easy. Pour the water in. Put the little filter there, boom, 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 it drips, everything comes apart, it cleans nicely. Guys, when you make coffee, use cold water. You don't know what's in your pipe, so don't put like hot or warm water out. And then the last and I guess kind of most important thing is like, Nancy, what kind of coffee am I buying? Again, if you've got a small roaster in your community, go talk to him or her. Let me tell you, if they are small batch roasters, which my husband is, they're roasting on a small coffee roaster. It's probably holding between 5 and 40 pounds. It's not automated. They are listening to it. They are smelling things. It's actually really fun to watch people roast coffee. The first cafe my husband had in Portland, there was a glass window like between the cafe and where he was roasting. People would come, they bring their kids. It's a really, really interesting process because the coffee, it roasts, I'm going to get this wrong and he'll kill me, but like 8, 9, 10 minutes for like a batch. And there's like these stages, the first crack, like you can hear it. Like it's not automated. Like they're doing it completely hands-on, which I love as a cook. I'm doing everything with my hands and watching it and smelling it. And they've got a little, like a thing that comes in and they look and they see and they smell it, do, and then boom, until it's ready, it goes in a cooling tray and it's great. So my husband is not roasting coffee at the moment, so I can't buy his, and he did have just some of the best coffee. But he's in Houston right now, and he went to a cafe, and he's like, hey, they sell this coffee you might be interested in. And it is Paloma. I know this is backwards for you guys, which is, of course, if you're watching this on Paloma Media, it's one of their, it's a blend, and it is really delicious and really reliable, but they also have, okay, a little higher math here. So most coffees you get are a blend. It's going to be a blend of different beans to get the flavor profile that, you know, the roaster wants, or for an espresso. They mix different beans. Now, usually it's going to be from the same region. If you're getting a certain kind of espresso blend, well, maybe it's all from, you know, coffees from Brazil. Brazil is the largest coffee producing country, but Ethiopia is apparently the birthplace of coffee, and they make some rad coffee, super fruity. Again, blueberry Pop-Tarts, strawberry. Now, are you tasting this in the cup? Not necessarily, but we'll get that back to that now. But anyway, single origins are where it's like from one country, one region, maybe even like one farm. This is called Los Milagros. Okay, this is from Mexico. I love Mexican coffees. I love coffee from Chiapas. Coffee from Chiapas has like a milk chocolate taste. Oh, Nancy, why does your coffee taste like milk chocolate and mine tastes like an ashtray? Well, because it's over roasted. Again, a medium roast. Yeah, if you get into coffee, flavor profiles are so cool. Go talk to your coffee roaster. As I said, he or she is going to be delighted to tell you about this stuff. Sometimes, as my husband did, and I was lucky enough to go on several trips with him, you can go and meet the farmers. You can work with them. They will grow you, you know, just for you, and you can have this beautiful coffee. Here's the thing, guys. Most of us, not all of us, but most of us drink coffee every day, and you might as well make it a beautiful experience in the morning, and something that you can be curious about, and start drinking better coffee like tomorrow. Okay, thank you for joining me. I hope your Sunday morning is good. I wish you many delightful cups of coffee. Thanks.